It sounds like you're still having issues getting your son to switch over from breastfeeding to a sippy cup, and I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. It sounds to me like you're doing just about everything there is. But as I read your question, I was thinking that it sounds like your son is turning to nursing for comfort instead of for nourishment. If you pump and you don't have enough to even give it to him in a sippy cup, then chances are he's not getting a ton when he's breastfeeding. So it's probably totally fine, as hard as it might be, to let him cry it out for a couple of days and just totally do away with breastfeeding. And hopefully, eventually, he's going to have to give in and drink from a sippy cup. And if, it doesn't sound like it's a taste thing, but I don't know if you've tried chocolate milk. That could be something you could try to entice him to drink milk in a sippy instead of nurse from you. Once he starts asking to be nursed, consider what he wants. If he wants comfort, just try a hug instead. Or if he's bored, try playing with him. He's old enough where you could introduce a blanket or a stuffed animal and you could let him take that with him to bed at night if it's an issue getting him to sleep without nursing. So it's best to consider the reasoning behind wanting to breastfeed. It might be just for comfort and not necessarily for nutrition. And as long as his diet otherwise is well-rounded, then he's probably, and he's getting like fluids from other things you mentioned, that he'll drink juice from a sippy cup, that's totally fine. And a couple of days without breast milk is probably going to be okay for him, as long as eventually he starts drinking milk. Now, you also mentioned that you're concerned about going to the doctor. He's been on the bottom of the growth curve, and you want a good report card when you go to the doctor. And every mother feels so much better, like they can pat themselves on the back when they walk out of the doctor's office and things are well. But it's not necessarily a personal reflection on you and how well you're doing. Every child's different. And some kids are better eaters than others, and some kids just grow at a different rate than others. Let the doctor work with you instead of against you. And if you're concerned about your child's growth, and the doctor is too, then let the doctor be one of your best resources. They can point you in the right direction. If your son is, truly like failure to thrive, that's the diagnosis, they can hook you up with a nutritionist and they can offer you tons of tips that will help your child gain weight. So don't necessarily feel bad if you go to the doctor and, everything is still kind of looking like your son isn't gaining weight very well. Use that as a time to pick the doctor's brain about different tips and tricks and resources that they have for you. So good luck with everything, and I love your questions. If you have any others, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page, and recommend us to your friends and family too.